I am super excited today because I have a very special guest who I'm proud to call my friend. He goes off the beaten path and comes back and gives us the most iconic reviews and tells us about everything from the flight, his experience with locals, his hotels, and we all love to read his reviews. I'm very proud to call him my friend Leroy Tyler. Hi, Leroy.
How's it going?
It's going good. I just wanted to thank you for coming today. I wanted to have you because I fell in love with your reviews a long time ago. And I just wanted to kind of talk to you about some of the trips that you have taken off the beaten path and just get your experience and then share some things so that we can kind of help other people overcome, you know, their fears or questions that they have about the locations. So getting started, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and when you started traveling?
Alrighty, so I'm Leroy. 29 years old, I'll be 30 in March. How I started traveling, I was about 8 years old. My mother, she got me this kid's encyclopedia called The Giant Book of Questions and Answers. I'll never forget it. So, I read through it, and I got to the geography section, and I was just hooked, just seeing all these cool places and things all around the world. So as I got older, I made it a mission to go see those places. Then when she passed away in 2005, when I was in high school, I made it more of a personal mission to go visit the places she never made it to. And the rest is history.
Interesting. Okay, nice. So the first place I wanted to talk to you about was Russia. I have plans to go in 2021, so I want to get some information. I did a survey on my website and I got the most common fears. But first, I just wanted to ask, what made you want to go to Russia?
Honestly, it's different. When you think of Europe, or especially Eastern Europe, Russia is like the last place people think of.
Right. So
that's why I wanted to go, because when you think of Europe, everybody goes to the same places. London, Paris, Rome, places like that.
Right.
So I like to be different, and as a black man, going to these places, I just want to I guess formulate my own opinion versus what I see on TV or what I read about. So I gotta go see it for myself.
Okay. What was your experience like during the visa process? Because that was the #1 concern that people had.
Okay. So the process of getting a visa as a tourist for Russia, it's not easy.
Okay.
It's very expensive and very time consuming, especially if you don't live in either New York City, Washington, D.C., or Houston. That's where the 3 Russian embassies are in the United States.
Okay.
There used to be another one in San Francisco, but they closed that down recently, so there's only 3 left. So first thing, you have to get what they call a visa support letter, or a letter of invitation.
Right.
It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to get than it sounds. You can get it online through a third party. I got mine from a website called Waytorussia.com.
Okay.
It's like $30. They'll email it to you as soon as you pay for it, so you'll get it immediately. And then the next thing is the actual visa application, which can only be filled out online. It takes like an hour to fill out.
Wow.
So it's like filling out a job application pretty much. So they ask you, all the information on the visa support letter.
Okay.
They ask you, for all your passport information. They want to know every country you've been to within the last 10 years.
Right.
But there's a caveat to that. You can just list the countries you've been to in the passport you're submitting, not every country you've been to over the last decade. Because if you've been to a lot of places over the last 10 years, it's going to take forever to fill it out. So I just listed, the places I've been to on my current passport that I submitted to the embassy. They ask you, what you do for work, what your parents' names are. Right. Do you have any training with any chemical weapons? Like just crazy stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's pretty time consuming.
So from the beginning to the end, how long did the whole process take you?
About 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so from actual, filling out the application, there's a visa support letter.
Okay.
You got to take 2 new passport photos. You can get that,
Right.
At Walgreens or CVS or wherever the case may be.
Okay. It's not too bad.
And the thing is, you have to go through, if you don't live in an embassy, you have to go through a visa agency.
Right.
So the one I went through was called Visa Express. I highly recommend it. And they always, they do other visas too, like, India and, places like that. So I had to mail it off to Houston because that's the closest embassy to me. So I mailed off all my documents. I had to get a money order for a total of $386.
Wow.
That's for the consular fees.
Okay.
The you know, the in the Visa Express fees.
Okay.
So yeah, the entire process took about 2 weeks, and
Not too bad.
as of April of this year, you can only get multi-entry visas now. So
Okay.
single entry visas don't exist anymore. So
Okay.
when you get a Russian visa, it's valid for 3 years,
Cool.
and you can stay.
Good to know.
And you can stay up to 6 months on each visit.
Okay.
So yeah, so if you get a Russian visa, if you ever want to go back, you can without getting a new visa.
Okay. The next concern was the lack of possible hospitality. Did you have any issues with that? Like, how were you treated?
Absolutely not. So,
Good.
so when I got there, you know, contrary to popular belief, Russians are not as like cold-hearted as they're made out to be. They're like
Okay.
the coolest people ever.
Oh, good.
So, you know, in Russian hospitality, it's up there with Thai hospitality. So, you ever been to Thailand or anywhere in
Right.
Southeast Asia? It's on that level. Like they'll
Nice.
take care of you. I mean, you know, the language barrier sucks. I mean, you know, you can get by speaking English, you know, in, you know, the big cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg.
Okay.
But you know, it doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt to learn, like, you know, a little bit of Russian.
Right.
You know, but yeah, it's the Russians. They're awesome. They'll take care of you.
Good. Good. Now, how long were you there?
10 days.
Oh, cool. And you went to Moscow, St. Petersburg, and where else?
Yeah, just those 2 cities. So I
Those two
spent
cities,
5
okay.
days in each city, and I caught the bullet train in between the 2 cities.
Okay. Okay. So, what about security? Did you feel safe?
Yeah, I did. You know, so when I got there, when I was going through passport control, I just noticed like a whole bunch of, not necessarily, I guess, armed guards, if you want to call them.
Okay.
But you know, they just, you know, trying to keep their borders safe, that sort of thing. And even while you're out and about, you know, I went in March of this year, so it was still kind of chilly outside.
Right.
But I haven't felt safer, honestly.
Oh, nice, nice. Now, I know you said it was kind of warm. How was the weather in March?
So in March, it was probably, I mean, you know, my version of cold versus anybody else's is different with me being born and raised in Chicago. So,
Okay.
you know, winter doesn't bother me these days.
You like the snow, no, I'm just like.
I actually hate winter, but, you know, those Chicago winters built me tough over the years.
Right.
But, you know, I went in March, so like the warmest day was probably about 25, 30 degrees. So, you know,
Okay.
it wasn't too bad.
Okay, so those were the main fears that you guys discussed. It was the visa, security, language barriers. He covered that. So just another on the language barriers. Did you use what else did you use? Did you use any apps? Or
I
how
actually
did you-
used YouTube.
Okay.
You know,
Smart.
just basic Russian phrases, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And I actually had a contact on the ground in Moscow, actually.
Nice.
So, you know, it was a mutual friend through shout out to Henry Curtis. He set it up for me.
Nice.
But her name is Vita. She's
Oh, yeah, I
born and
remember.
raised in Moscow.
Okay.
So, you know, she met me at the airport. You know, we talked prior to me arriving, that sort of
Nice.
thing. So, you know, she met me at the airport. You know, she took me to places that, you know, a lot of tourists don't go to, like certain
Cool.
restaurants.
I told y'all
Things
he
in
likes
that
to get off the
places.
beaten path.
So, you know, the best place to see, the best way to see any place is through a local's eyes.
True.
So, you know,
Very
you
true.
can, you know, you can Google anything, but it's nothing like hanging out with a local in their own city.
Right. Okay, so 3 places that you recommend for people to go when they go to Russia was Red Square, Vodka Museum, and Hermitage Museum. I'm saying that right?
Yeah.
And I want to talk about the Vodka Museum first. I'm a tequila girl, but I know that in Russia, you know, vodka was made there first. So what was that like?
It's interesting because when you go in there, it's like a museum. So, you know, they give you like the history of vodka, and it's fascinating. And, you know, at the end of it, you can taste test 3 vodkas of your choice. There's so many to choose from. So and it's weird because they give you a piece of rye bread. They give you 2 pieces of rye bread. On one of them, you have like sardines on one, and then lard on the other, and then they give you a pickle with on the side of it. So, yeah, there's just so many different vodkas to choose from, and then you can purchase some to bring home as well.
Okay.
So I brought back 3 bottles.
Where's my bottle, Leroy?
I mean,
See?
I was actually shocked. I got it back home. I still met the weight limit.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Okay.
So, you know, so I brought back, there's this one, like, pure Siberian vodka that I can't pronounce. There's another one I brought back. It's like a gold color, and it's infused with thyme and ginger. It's really
Cool,
good,
cool.
too. And another one I actually brought back, Kalashnikov vodka. Kalishnikov is he's the guy that invented the AK-47.
Okay.
And today I brought back 3
See,
bottles.
look, I'm even learning.
Yeah, it's like the Vodka Museum's in St. Petersburg. It's not in Moscow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things you have to do while you're there. It's like it's kind of mandatory when you go there.
Okay, and then Red Square, I know that's in Moscow,
Yeah.
and I also, it looks like it's a UNESCO World Heritage
It
Site.
is. So
How's that?
Red Square, it's pretty much synonymous with Russia. So you have the St. Basil's Cathedral. That's the
Yes,
church.
beautiful.
That's a church with the onion domes and things like that. And right next to it, you have the Kremlin, which is like that's where the president of Russia, or prime minister, we don't call it, that's where he resides.
Okay.
And outside the Kremlin is Lenin's mausoleum, but I couldn't go in because it was undergoing restoration at the time. So that's another reason why I got to go back, so I can check it out. But and right next to St. Basil's Cathedral is a shopping center. And in that shopping center, there's this particular restaurant in there. It's called Stoyanov 57.
Okay.
And that's where you can just sample all Russian dishes. Like, that's where I went, like, straight off the plane. Vita took me there.
Okay.
And you'll see the restaurant because the line, like, it's always long. Like that line, like, those Popeye's chicken lines. They're longer than that.
Okay, was that the place where you had the burger, where you had the gloves?
That is called Black Star Burger. That's a whole different spot there. So
Okay, but it was in Russia,
yeah,
though, right?
that's in Moscow as well. So I went to this burger joint called Black Star Burger, and Black Star it's a record label in Moscow, and their marketing strategy is completely digital. So there's like no like billboards or anything on the radio or anything. It's just strictly social media. So they give you these black gloves to eat your burger with, and I guess it's part of their marketing strategy because you don't have to clean your hands before, during, or after you eat. So they're like, just throw these gloves on and chow down.
Nice.
So another must-do in Russia, whether you're in Moscow or St. Petersburg, is you got to visit the metro stations or train stations, whatever you want to call them. They're attractions in their own right, but they're absolutely beautiful. Some of them date back all the way back to Soviet times. Some of them have like Soviet insignia on it and everything. It's pretty cool. And a pro tip, they do have metro station tours that you can go on, but I don't recommend it because they're gonna take you when there's a ton of people
Right.
in the train stations. So what I did was I waited till like 11 p.m. midnight when no one was taking the train, so I could just have the place to myself. So, oh man, you should see some of the pictures I've taken there.
Wow.
But yeah, you can do so on my Instagram @ABlackManAbroad.
Y'all follow him on Instagram. So he is going to show us his Russian visa.
So
Cover that bottom part. People be scheming.
yeah. So. Yeah, so this is what the Russian visas look like. So your name's gonna be in Russian, and so there's your photo that you're gonna submit. It's gonna have the validity dates at the top of it, so that way they'll know how long it's valid for, that sort of thing. And it takes up a whole page in the passport.
Cover your
So.
Okay, so do you have any final thoughts, any tips for anyone who has any fears or any concerns about going to Russia?
Just go with an open mind. Just don't listen to the media because it's one hell of a drug these days. People they just automatically assume it's a bad place because of the negative publicity, that sort of thing. But you got to go there and see it for yourself.
Right. Okay. What do you have any travel fears, not just about Russia or Ukraine? What is Leroy's fear when it comes to travel? It doesn't have to be major, but like, what keeps you?
I guess not doing enough research. Like, I feel like sometimes I do a ton of research, but then again, I feel like I didn't do enough research.
Right.
Or that's really my main concern. It's just being ill prepared for something.
Right. Okay.
But at the end of the day, it's part of the adventure.
Exactly. Social media, where can they find you? On Facebook?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook under Leroy Tyler IV.
Y'all all know already. We've all stalked this page, read a million stories.
Yeah, or you can follow me on Instagram @ABlackManAbroad, all
Okay.
one word. But I spend most of my time on Facebook,
Clowning.
Yeah, something like that.
He's a good, cool personality. Love his post. He's just a good person. That's why I had to have him
Yeah,
here.
so it's
Okay.
it's been fun. You know, it's hard to find people here in St. Louis that do travel.
It is.
So
I feel blessed to have a friend like this in St.
I agree.
Louis.
Likewise.
Also, he has a YouTube channel. It's Leroy Tyler. Follow him. He has content. He's going to be releasing that content. So
Yeah, I have a
if
lot.
you want to see more.
You have a lot of unedited footage that I got to go through and put together. I do actually have a detailed video on the Russian visa process on my channel uploaded as well. So if you're a visual learner like myself, I'll walk you through everything from start to finish on that particular video.
Okay, Leroy, give us 3 random facts about yourself. Something that nobody, well, your social media followers would know about you.
All right. First fact is I'm actually a kidney donor. My father was a recipient. In 2012 is when the actual transplant happened. I was 100% compatible to donate, so I couldn't really say no even if I wanted to. Another random fact, I'm a roller coaster junkie. I've been on 407 roller coasters worldwide.
Wow.
And another random fact about me is my favorite color is teal.
I never would have guessed that.
I guess as a Pisces, I'm naturally obsessed with the ocean, which is teal.
Okay, that makes
And
sense.
I guess, you know, they're kind of mutually exclusive these days.
Right.
But yeah, those are 3 random facts about me. But I guess a travel fact about me is that I've been to 6 of the 7 continents. I just got an Antarctica left. I have no idea I'm going there because I don't have $8 grand to go to Antarctica.
It's expensive.
But I hit South America this past March.
Nice.
I went to Argentina. The way I got there was pretty unorthodox. I actually flew nonstop from Rome to Buenos Aires.
Wow.
Yeah, it was 14 hours. And yeah, it was monumental for me because it was my 6th continent and my first visit to South America.
That is monumental. That's amazing. Amazing. Do you have any travel goals? Like things you want to, I know you want to do 30 by 30.
Yeah, so like I said, I got 1 country left before I achieve that goal. You know, I definitely want to get that elusive 7th continent out the way, but like I said, I don't have $8 grand for that to happen.
Right.
I want to, you know, visit all of the Stan countries. So like, you know, Kazakhstan, Pakistan,
Nice.
Kyrgyzstan, etc.
Are these hints for 30 by 30? Y'all pay attention.
Maybe. So, let's see. Another travel goal would have to be, honestly, I feel like I've met most of them. You know, I've seen the Northern Lights.
Yes,
Of,
he has. I haven't seen that.
Yeah.